What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We all know about the generational prospect being Victor Wembanyama, and of course we all know about Scoot Henderson. I've given Victor Wembanyama plenty of love in the past, so today I wanted to talk about Scoot Henderson and how I feel like the San Antonio Spurs for him is the best match for Scoot Henderson to end up on. For some weird reason, I just feel like Scoot Henderson and the Spurs is a match made in heaven. So today we're jumping in and doing a Scoot Henderson Spurs rebuild, cause why not? Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one, subscribe if you are new to the channel. As always, greatly appreciated. So we come out of the draft with Scoot Henderson as second overall. We got Dariq Whitehead in the second round, and we also got Marco, which I'll go ahead and sign both those guys, and we'll start off this offseason with signing our rookies here. So very excited to have Scoot Henderson here on the Spurs. I'm going to accept Zach Collins' team option. He's been starting for them with obviously Jakob Poeltl gone, so I'll keep him around. Qualifying offers: Trey Jones, Romeo Langford. I'll extend those, but it's not going to be the worst thing in the world if we do lose like Romeo Langford, for instance. But right now, with Scoot Henderson being our point guard, reason why I love the idea of Henderson as the point guard of this team, because right now they have like Vassell, they have Keldon Johnson, they have Jeremy Sohan, and then obviously maybe another center. So Victor Wembanyama would be cool as well, but I've done a Wembanyama Spurs rebuild in the past. So today, I feel like Scoot Henderson could be that generational point guard for the franchise, and it would just go seemingly well with all the pieces we have around him already. So Devontae Graham been pretty solid since he's come over to San Antonio. I don't know if we're going to keep him or trade him this offseason. Malachi Branham, Vassell, really love what we've gotten out of Vassell this year. Doug McDermott, also another guy I wouldn't mind trading away, another veteran piece. Jeremy Sohan, been an interesting rookie this season. We got Charles and Kim Birch off the bench here for San Antonio. We do need a center. Zach Collins, I prefer him to be like a backup center. Obviously, I don't really want to see him start going forward. So we could, go ahead and sign like a center here in free agency to start things off. Jakob Poeltl would be fun if we just brought him back, but we probably can't do that. But like, imagine a Naz Reid and like an opportunity where he would be the full-time center somewhere else. Like, we could definitely give him that, and that'd be kind of cool. I got like Nick Richards, Mo Bamba as well. So there is some interesting guys we could go for, but I might just wait and roll with Zach Collins. We'll see. One thing I do know I want to do is I want to trade Doug McDermott, and I also maybe, just maybe, potentially want to trade away Devontae Graham as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with that, and we'll see what we can get for these two veteran pieces. Today's video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a player props app that allows you to choose overs or unders on your favorite players that you enjoy watching each and every day. It is available on mobile or desktop, and this is how it looks. They give you the number, and you're going to choose over or under on it. They pretty much have every sport you can imagine, whether it's soccer, NFL, NHL. They have a ton of different options. So this is how it works. You choose between 2 to 6 players, 2 being 3 times your money, all the way up to 6 players, 25 times your money. PrizePicks has just elevated my watching experience to a whole new level. So if you want to sign up, I also have some of my entries as examples here. That way you can kind of see how it works. But if you want to sign up, links in the description. Use code Crushables. They match your deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Thank you, PrizePicks, for sponsoring today's video. We're going to try to ship Doug McDermott over to the Washington Wizards for Isaiah Todd and a second-round pick. That could be a piece of Wizards. I guess we're going to be swapping seconds. Really doesn't matter too much. It's just like that. We get Isaiah Todd. So I don't know if he'll ever become anything for us. He's 21 years old. Could maybe develop here in San Antonio. So I kind of like, taking a flyer on him. Next would be Devontae Graham, but I'm almost leaning towards keeping him around. But at the same time, we do have Trey Jones in free agency. So he could actually be our backup point guard, similar to how Tyus Jones is backup to or backup in Memphis. So I think I am going to try to move Devontae Graham if I can. So let's see what we can get for him. I'm only expecting a second as well. I know Devontae Graham's trade value is so through the roof that you get a first for him. It's got like the Miami Heat give me Doug Robinson. I don't know why they would want Graham though. That doesn't really make much sense. The Knicks, Evan Fournier still doesn't make a lot of sense. The Lakers, taking Devontae Graham as a backup piece for them and they're into their cap space. Koloko in a second round pick. That could be also another interesting flyer we could take on if the Raptors were willing to ship Koloko. I wouldn't mind doing that. And you got like Jabari Walker in a second round pick. So I kind of like a lot of these options. I want Jabari Walker to want Christian Koloko. I almost really want to have Christian Koloko here. So I'm going to go ahead and send Devontae Graham over to the Raptors for Koloko in a second round pick. Why not? We might be able to develop Koloko into something. So other than that, I think the only thing I'm going to do now is re-sign Tyus Jones or Trey Jones, and that's it. I was going to sign a center, but I don't think I'm going to anymore. So when you just get Trey Jones back, I think I'm good. So, and if Keita Bates' job is back as well, I wouldn't mind that. So I'm going to go ahead and give him like a 2-year deal, nothing crazy. That way we can just have depth with him here. And then again, Trey Jones, if I can bring him back, that will be nice as well. I'm giving him like a 3-year deal, pretty solid backup point guard money there. So that will be how this offseason starts, and we'll just kind of roll forward and see what Scoot Henderson can do now that he's in San Antonio, and of course the other guys around him. So we got Keldon Johnson up to an 84. Vassell is up to an 83. We're gonna have to pay him next offseason, so definitely need to be prepared for that. And then Jeremy Sohan, of course, got like 3 years left. Malachi Branham, same thing. So overall, it's a pretty solid roster now that Scoot Henderson is here. So hopefully we can get this team back on track and eventually back to contention. I think we're off to a great start. The rotation for season number 1 is going to be Scoot Henderson at the 1, of course, Devin Vassell at the 2, Keldon Johnson at the 3, and then Jeremy Sohan at the 4. So honestly, I'm looking at this right now. I really want Scoot Henderson, Vassell, and Jeremy Sohan to be starters throughout the video. Keldon Johnson, I might trade him. I might keep him. We'll see. He's also someone I'm thinking about. And at the center position, we got Zach Collins. I almost wonder if I should just start Christian Koloko and just kind of call it good and see if we can develop, Koloko into something, which is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to put Zach Collins on the bench, and I'm going to start Christian Koloko because why not? Let's see if we can turn him into anything for this roster and have Koloko develop into like a really good starting center. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we're going to give it a shot. So we're going to simulate the rest of the season with this being the rotation. We'll see how we do, and hopefully this team ends up being pretty damn good. I don't think we will be, but hey, with Henderson leading the way, you never know. This season netted same results. We weren't very good, but of course we are still somewhat rebuilding, so I'm not too upset with the results. But as far as player stats were concerned, we had 18 from Scoot Henderson in his rookie year, 17 from Keldon Johnson, 15 from Vassell, then 14 from Christian Koloko, and then 7 rebounds. So like to see that. 12 from Malachi Branham, and then you had 10 from Jeremy Sohan with 6 rebounds, so 9 from Trey Jones. Overall, it's just a matter of letting this team develop pretty much. Eventually, it's going to get good. It's just how it's going to have to happen. So you got the Rockets making it all the way to the finals. I don't know who the Rockets drafted to be this good. They got Nikola Vucevic. Who did they draft? They got Jet Howard. Okay, interesting. Hawks versus Rockets. You're going to have the Hawks going to win a championship, and we turn our attention to the lottery. So we have the worst record in the NBA. And then I think another thing that's interesting, I'm pretty sure, okay, the Raptors were in the playoffs. I'm going to say, I'm pretty sure I have the Raptors pick. And I thought they were a lottery team, but they did make the playoffs. So lottery time. I don't know if we have another team's lottery pick or not. It's not looking like it. It says we have the Charlotte pick, but I'm pretty sure that might actually have protections on it. We'll see. So Thunder, number 14. I don't know if I want to watch this whole thing. I mean, of course, if we walk away out of this draft with a really good draft pick, we're going to be chilling and we're going to be ready to roll next season. So we're going to get the second overall pick, our own pick. So back-to-back second overall picks. And it does say we own that Hornets pick at number 4. We have 16 via the Raptors. I'm pretty sure that Charlotte pick has some protections on it. So I want to do my research before I just, draft someone at 4. But if we have 2 and 4, we're going to be chilling. But I'm pretty sure that Hornets pick belongs to them. So I got to make sure of that. Greg Popovich, still the head coach. I got to fill this out real quick. I'm going to do some research on that draft pick, and I'll see you all on draft night. That was correct. That pick does belong to the Charlotte Hornets. It is protected, so I won't steal it away from them, even though 2K could have done it themselves. But they just don't have that in there. So we have the second overall pick and 16 in this draft. There's no one I'm looking to trade on draft night right now, so I think we're chilling. So we might as well just draft a couple guys. Who can we get at second? I know Xavier Booker's in this draft, and honestly, that would almost be perfect if we were able to get him. But unfortunately, we're not going to have the number 1 overall pick. But that would have been awesome if we did. So if I can go to mock drafts, is what I'm looking for. So we got Amari as well. So we do need a center going forward. Amari could be interesting. 6'8", a little undersized for a traditional center. Booker would be amazing, but he's not going to fall to us, unfortunately. You got Collier, DJ Wagner. So you got small forwards on here as well. So I might draft a small forward. We'll see. Draft night, Booker is going to go 1 to the Jazz. Would have loved him. But second overall, we got Matt. We got Omari, who's a 76 overall out of the draft. We got DJ Wagner, 6'2" point guard. I do like what we have in Vassell, though, and Scoot Henderson. Collier, Bill Colby, KJ Evans is interesting. He's a 6'10" small forward. Wow, that is definitely a little crazy. So KJ Evans, someone I'm kind of tempted to draft, but I wonder if I should just take the center. 15 and 10, 23% from 3, or do I want KJ Evans? I don't know which one I want. Do I want the 6'10" forward? What is, do we have anything on him? We got a bench player of Zaire Williams. That is not a good comparison. And we got Alex English, all-NBA. So kind of a mystery. We scouted him only 67%. See if there's anyone else that might be empty. Ron Holland, someone told me that literally in the last video, they said I need to draft him once. So I wonder if I should just draft him here. Elijah Fisher. Ron Holland, 78 overall. We scouted him 100%. Give me Ron Holland. I'll go ahead and give a shout out to the guy that told me to draft him. I'll give him a chance in this video. Number 16, we got Addis on the board. We've got Wesley Yates, center. So I'll go ahead and take Wesley Yates, and I'll call it a draft. So just like that, I want to see. So Ron Hall was 77. Matt was a 70 or an 81, I should say. KJ Evans was 76. Omari was a 76. So I guess we got a decent overall. I guess Matt would have been a better pick at an 81 overall. But overall, I felt pretty good. Didn't mean to say overall that many times, but you get what I'm saying. So we're going to draft or sign our 1 second round pick in the player options. We're going to accept all these. And now we have a big free agency in front of us with a Vassell free agency in front of us. I look forward to re-signing Devin Vassell in free agency, but I do have an idea in mind that I kind of want to execute to get ourselves a brand new center. We are in the moment where, you know, Greg Popovich isn't going to be around forever, so I would love to compete a little bit quicker if we can. So I'd hate to do this, but I think I might be trading Keldon Johnson away to get something going for us. So we got to look at a team known as the Phoenix Suns, who went as a 10th seed, and DeAndre Ayton's still 25 years old, and we could probably get him right now if we really tried. So that is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to go talk to the Suns. I want to get myself a franchise center. I don't know what I was talking about earlier when I said Wesley Yates was a center. I think I just saw the letter C and was like, okay, there's the center. Was not paying attention, so that is my bad. But that's fine, because we are going to try to snag DeAndre Ayton for the Phoenix Suns. So I'm going to offer up Keldon Johnson because I believe in Ron Holland. I'm going to go ahead and give up Keldon Johnson, like I mentioned, and we're going to try to do this without giving up too much. So we have a lot of guards already as it is, so I might throw Dariq Whitehead in here as well, and then we're going to throw maybe Blake Wesley in here because I do believe in Malachi Branham, and we just drafted Wesley Yates. So I think I'm going to throw Blake Wesley in here. So Keldon Johnson, Dariq Whitehead, Blake Wesley, and let's say it's 1 protected Chicago pick for Ayton. They do agree to it, and we got ourselves a brand new center to kind of prolong this rebuild, fast forward it a little bit. So, and then obviously Ron Holland's going to get a huge opportunity at that small forward spot, which we're going to let him develop. So do miss Keldon Johnson, but I did mention that I might be trading him, and now Vassell is going to be either playing that small forward spot or he's going to be starting at shooting guard still for us. So Vassell, welcome back, my friend. We're going to re-sign you. You're going to be a huge part of this. So I think I might be moving Vassell to small forward because I might be able to start Malachi Branham depending on how much he develops. Ron Holland, we'll see. I might just start him. So we have a lot of options here. So I'm feeling pretty good. Let's go to player progression. That's about all I'm doing this offseason. Just snagging DeAndre Ayton, who's going to fit our timeline a little decently. And then progression, you got Scoot Henderson already up to an 86. So we already have a nice duo of Ayton and Scoot Henderson. And, you know, Ayton's get to that point where he's a little bit of a veteran. So feeling good about that. Vassell, 84. Malachi Branham is up to an 81. So if we want to go ahead and have Ron Holland come off the bench for the first year, I might do just that and start Vassell at the small forward and then have Malachi Branham start at that 2 spot. So we'll see if that works out for us. Got to go apply an update, of course. It's always popping up when I'm recording, but I'll see you guys at the end of the next season, where hopefully with Ayton coming in, we might be able to play in team, maybe. So at the end of the season, we did sneak into that play-in tournament like I thought we potentially could have, and we did just that. Scoot Henderson took a bit of a leap this year as well, went from 18 to 21 points per game. 17 and 12 from DeAndre Ayton, 11 from Jeremy Sohan, and then Vassell had 14 and then 13 from Branham, 13 from Ron Holland, which is nice off the bench, 11.5 from Koloko, and then 11 from Jeremy Sohan. So I'm really excited that we got Koloko. I think he's going to be a really solid backup center going forward for us. And Ron Holland, really excited about him as well. Dallas in round 1, or at least in the play-in tournament, they got Luka and Kyrie still. So Kyrie did resign, and they added Kristaps Porzingis back, which is kind of interesting. So can we beat Dallas here? We do win game 1. Wow, of the play-in tournament. Do we sneak into the playoffs? We got to play Minnesota, who added Drew Holiday, which I actually kind of like that fit. Do we get past them? We do not. So we do get eliminated in the play-in, but I'm excited that we got a little bit of win or go home experience. Got the Thunder going all the way to the finals. Going to play Atlanta, which just keeps dominating the East as they win the championship. So on draft night, the Nets are going to be rewarded with the #1 overall pick from that Kevin Durant trade. Imagine that happening. That would be freaking crazy. We're going to have pick 10, and I believe we have a later pick in this draft as well. Greg Popovich has got 2 years left in his contract, so I'm going to pretend that's like our, one of opportunity to give Craig Popovich one last more contending roster. And we're getting closer and closer to where we want to be. Play-in tournament was the step we wanted to take, and now it is time to be playoff team. And maybe even borderline contender. That way we have 2 chances at it. So I want to see progression, of course, and I might make another trade this offseason, just depending on what kind of pops up. So we got 10, 30, 3, 9, 23, and 24, which is a lot to use. So DeAndre and Scoot Henderson are 2 cornerstone pieces right now. Vassell, I just signed him, but if we can get a better small forward, I might be okay with trading him. Jeremy Sohan, I love Jeremy Sohan, but he's not progressing the game too much either, so I might be looking at that power forward spot and thinking about, going for something different. It's got like Bridges in Oklahoma City. You got Carly Towns. You got Jeremy Grant. So there is some options here. I'm going to take a look around the league real quick and see if there's any forwards that I can kind of jumpstart this rebuild even closer to be a contender. On draft night, we're taking Isaiah Evans at pick number 10. Feeling good about that selection. At pick 30, we're going to take Stojakovic, I guess. Welcome to the Spurs, my friend. And that'll be our draft. So I was kind of taking a look. There was no forwards that I was really in love with. At number 10, we got a 74 overall small forward. I could have drafted this guy. I thought about it, but I didn't. So we're going to take Stojakovic, and then we're not even going to sign any of our second rounders. Player options, Henderson, Branham, Jeremy Sohan, Charles, and then Washington. Qualifying offers, we got Christian Koloko is a free agent who I do want to bring back, Malachi Flynn, who I'm not concerned with. So free agency time. Jason Tatum's a free agent. Koloko's a free agent. Isaiah Todd is here as well. We never turned him in anything. We're not going to be able to sign any crazy free agent here. We do have money locked into guys already. So no free agency time for us. We have Henderson, Trey Jones, Malachi Branham, Wesley Yates. Are going to have Vassell, Ron Holland, Isaiah Evans, Jeremy Sohan, and then DeAndre and Charles. So I'm going to make decisions based off how progression goes. If player progression is in a spot where I think, okay, this team with that progression should be able to contend, we might just roll with it. But if it doesn't progress as much as I would want it to, I might have to make like another trade, which is fine with me. So we're just going to let that kind of determine what we decide to do. So is there any other free agent I'm looking at and saying, okay, add him to the roster, he could be really good for us? Well, let's see what I would be trading away. So I'm going to probably keep Trey Jones. Wesley Yates could be traded. We got like Isaiah Evans, Stojakovic. That's two small forwards. So if anything, and then a power forward. So if anything, I should probably be signing like a shooting guard or a power forward just in case. That way we have depth if we do make a big trade here in a second. So power forwards, got like O'Shea Brissett, Russ O'Neal, Kenrick Williams. We also had Bruce Brown here earlier as well, which give me Bruce Brown. I could play him like power forward or something. I don't know. So we're going to play Bruce Brown there or have him come to the team as a potential depth piece. And now I want to see what progression treats us like and see if there's any guy that like is around the league right now that would just be way better than what progression is showing us. So, moment of truth, we got Vassell up to an 86, Brandon's up to an 83, Sohan's up to an 82. So that gives me a little bit more. I feel pretty good about that. Ron Holland, 77 overall. Someone told me he progresses like crazy, and I don't see the progression here. Maybe I have to wait another season. So, but I don't know if I want to wait another season. We got a 90 overall, Scoot Henderson. I feel like if we can add like another. So what position would I be replacing the starting five? Shooting guard, Malachi Branham, 12 points on 36% shooting. I do like what I have in him. I mean, it's the power forward spot for me that I would replace the most. I mean, even if we have someone come off the bench, that's not a big of a deal. So maybe that's what we look for, is a better power forward. I don't know. I want to make some trade here because I don't want to go into next season without, being a contender, honestly. My favorite option by far is Jaren Jackson Jr. on the Memphis Grizzlies. He'd be the perfect power forward we want on this roster and would give us closer to contention than we are right now. So I'm going to go ahead and include potentially Ron Holland, maybe Koloko. Let's see what we can include here. So we're not going to be trading Jeremy Sohan. I want to keep him on the team as a depth piece if we can, and he's going to have to be resigned next offseason as well. So this is kind of our way of going for it. So if I threw Isaiah Evans in here, we're going to need 14 more million in this trade. So it's probably going to have to include Ron Holland. I hate to give up on him this soon, but at this point, I'm trying to be a contender here soon. So 3 young pieces and a couple draft picks for Jaren Jackson. What do you say? They do not agree. They're getting close to accepting it, and this is just going to get us to where we want to be, and they don't agree to that. Maybe one more young player gets it done. Stojakovic, does he have any interest in that? No. Is there anyone else like Charles? Do I throw Charles in here? 2-star trade value. I thought for sure that would go through. Okay, maybe this other pick would be valuable, more valuable, 1.5. Do they accept? They do not. Damn, okay. Jaren Jackson would have been awesome to get. I'm going to throw Jalen Washington in here. That's 2-star trade value. And just like that, we go for it and get Jaren Jackson Jr. on the Spurs roster. And now we have ourselves a pretty good rotation here in San Antonio. So I'm feeling pretty good. I think this team with Jaren Jackson joining the fold, we're going to have to resign both Ayton and Jackson next offseason. So that is going to suck a little bit. But we've given Greg Popovich a roster that can contend in his last 2 years of coaching, which is what I wanted to do. So Henderson, Branham, Vassell, Jackson, Ayton, Sohan off the bench, Trey Jones, Bruce Brown, and Christian Koloko. I love it. We're going to see how this goes. 4-star trade or 4-star proficiency. Less than like this season, and hopefully this team ends up being a contender in the West. At the end of the season, we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. We wanted to give the Spurs, or Greg Popovich, I should say, rather, a team that can contend. We're the 3rd seed in the West, and now we have 28 from Scoot Henderson, 17 from Malachi Branham, 16 from Jaren Jackson, and then 16 from Vassell, 14 from Ayton, and 11 from Jeremy Sohan off the bench. So let's see if this team can contend in the West. We get Utah in round 1. Of course, they're a team that's been rebuilding as well. They have Abaji, Whitmore, Booker, Kessler, and Kongwu. So pretty good rotation. Jared Walker off the bench as well, or I think that's Jarris Walker in real life. So let's see if we can take down Utah in round 1. Up 1-0. We beat them by 6. Scoot Henderson, sensational in that first playoff game. Love to see it. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3, we're up 2-1. Can we go up 3-1? Yes, we can. And can we beat them in 5 to go to the second round? And we do. So just like that, for the first time, and I don't know how long, we got Gray Popovich back to the second round. And now we got the Portland Trailblazers here in front of us, who have Ian Jackson, Grant Capella, Simons, Shaden Sharp. Wow, what a team the Blazers have put around Dame here. If only this was going to be, if only this would happen in real life, I should say, because it's not going to. The team is incompetent as far as building a roster. So, game 1, we're up 1-0, 119 to 112. Damian Lillard 24. 44, though, from Scoot Henderson. Maybe we just wanted more. They even it up. Don't lose to Portland. As much as I'm rooting for Dame to win a championship, I don't really want it to happen today in 2K. They're up 3-2, of course, on us. So, here we go. Game 5, or game 6, I should say, and San Antonio to force a game 7 back to Portland. We have one more season after this, so even if we lose here, it's going to suck, but we do have another season, and we are going to lose here. So I'm going to run it back one last time. Going to resign everybody. This rotation is going to stay the same. We don't have to worry about Jeremy Sohan, or not Jeremy Sohan. We don't have to worry about Scoot Henderson being resigned yet, so that'll be cheap still. $13 million isn't that cheap, but you get what I'm saying. Aiden and Jackson are going to both be very, very expensive, but I'm willing to keep the roster around. We're gonna have one last run. We're gonna have to resign Malachi Branham as well. Wow, so it's gonna be an expensive offseason. We got a lot of free agents here to worry about, but I'm willing to spend the money to keep this roster together to make one last crack at it. So I ran it back this one season, and I'm hoping this is a result of a championship and giving Popovich one more ring before his contract expires and maybe he retires. Not to rhyme there, but Malachi Branham was 17, 25 from Scoot Henderson, so a lot of double-digit scoring to go around. Can we bring it home here? We get New Orleans in round 1. They got Bryant Russell, Dyson Daniels, Franz Wagner, interesting, Zion, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Cameron Thomas off the bench, and then Trey Murphy. So game 1, we're up 1-0, beat them by 1. Game 2, we even it up. Game 3, 3-0. And do we sweep the Pelicans? Do we beat them in 5, maybe? Yes, we do. So we're on to the second round, and now we get Memphis, which, interesting, because we stole Jaren Jackson from them. They do have Mark Williams at center with Monte Morris, and then Ron Hollins up to an 81. So, yeah, he's not really developed like crazy, like I would have wanted when I thought he would. But, oh well, game 1, up 1-0. Game 2, yeah, I mean, this Grizzlies team doesn't look like they're as good as they should be. So, boom, beat them in 4, and now we get the Dallas Mavericks. So, Dallas, you got Luka, Abaji, Jimmy Butler, Sadiq Bey, Mitchell Robinson, Bears. This is a very good Mavericks team they put around Luka Doncic. There's a little bit of a fall off, though. I get, not really, never mind. I thought that was a 73 overall. So here we go. Can we get to the finals? Gray Popovich, one last finals. Come on, baby. We do win game 3. Game 4, do we win it? Yes, we do. Can we win game 5 and beat them in 5? Beat them in 6. Don't go to game 7. Let's go, baby. Got to the finals. We get a Scoot Henderson versus Victor Wembanyama final. So it's a perfect way to end off this video. So Wembanyama versus Scoot Henderson. You got Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Middleton, Robinson, Earl, Isaiah Jackson, and Kane Carlisle. Game 1, they're up 1-0. They're up 2-0. We're going to lose, aren't we? That is so irritating. All right, hold on. We're not done just yet. Yeah, we are. So we lose to the Pistons. Victor Wembanyama still showing why he was the #1 overall pick, 96 overall. So that'll be how the video ends. I tried and tried, man, to get Popovich one last championship. Got him to the finals, but unfortunately for us, we come up short. Hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. As always, have a fantastic weekend. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.